Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing another episode of my 100 Films in 100 Days series. I'm insanely excited. Today we're going to be watching an old classic horror movie, which is honestly something I'm really hoping to do a lot more with this series. I think that horror is a genre I've gotten into really late in my life. I didn't watch a single horror movie until I turned like 19. So I've got a lot of horror movies to catch up on. And today we're going to be watching a big staple horror sci-fi movie, the movie Alien. I'm insanely excited about this movie. I don't know a whole lot about it, if I'm being totally honest with you. I think the only thing I know about it is that James Cameron directed it. Alrighty, future editing, Blake. Literally, like 10 minutes after I wrapped that video, I went to log it on my Letterboxd because I was like, oh my god, I don't think I logged in on my Letterboxd. And so I went and I typed it in. I had mentioned that, oh, this movie was, directed by James Cameron. Oh, this movie came out in the 80s. I'm thinking of the movie Aliens. We watched the movie Alien, which was directed by Ridley Scott. So I'm so sorry about that. Anybody who's watching this and is like, oh my god, you're so incorrect. I was incorrect. I was thinking about the other movie. In my defense, they're a one-letter difference. And, like I said, spoiler alert, I'm planning on watching Aliens next Friday. Woo! Spoiler alert. Anyways, we're going to proceed with the regularly programmed video. And I believe this is one of the first movies he ever directed, which is an absolutely crazy debut, if that's correct. If I'm wrong, future editing, Blake, put that up on the screen. It's like one of his first movies that he ever directed, and I just think that that's crazy. That's really, really cool. But that being said, I'm insanely excited about this movie. My expectations are relatively low. I'm going to go watch it for anybody who wants to watch along with me. It's on Hulu and Disney+, but I think specifically on Hulu? Question mark? I might be wrong about that. It's for sure on my Disney+, because I have the Disney Plus bundle that comes with Hulu. So if it's not on Disney Plus for you, it might be on Hulu. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm going to go watch it, and then I'm going to come back, give you guys my initial thoughts, reactions, review. Let's do it, shall we? Dun, 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 dun. 100 films in 100 days. Okay, now overall, I think that was a really fun movie. Something that I love about older movies that you can kind of like really see is just overall the passion that everybody has for this movie. I think that the acting, there we go, that's a little bit better. Wrong A word. They're so similar, okay? You can't fault me for that. But I think that the acting is just so much more authentic, and it's really interesting watching this movie where the characters feel incredibly real. I didn't realize that this movie would have as much tones of like the classism and like the different wars where like some of the people who don't make as much money on the ship like don't give a fuck about going to try to save some random people who have an SOS call, and all they really care about is like making sure that they get paid, and that's like their biggest like gripe is that they don't think that they're getting paid enough, so they're kind of slacking off. And I love the way that you kind of see the different levels of the different people who, some of them, they're making plenty of money, they don't give a crap, they kind of are intrigued about this SOS call, and so they're happy to explore it, and they're like really there for the love of the game, versus some other people who are just there for the money. And I love just the different interactions and the different kind of character archetypes we get here. It's very interesting. I do like the fact that the main protagonist is a strong female woman. Yeah, let's go ahead of our time. We absolutely love that. I think that she was absolutely phenomenal in this. And I think that overall, this movie is, in a lot of ways, really ahead of its time. I'm going to get more into like the overall like technical aspects of this film that I think are really cool and really live up and survive the test of time. But I want to talk about just the overall like main themes of this movie. The bad guy is a big corporation, and not only is it just a big corporation, it's a big corporation utilizing AI resources over their human resources instead of actually like, paying their employees to do a specific job. They have an AI robot who is keeping everybody in check, keeping everybody in line, instead of like promoting somebody to a manager and giving them a position and making sure that humans are, responsible for everything that's going on. This company is already evil and taking over with AI robots. And I love that. That's incredibly sick. I would not have expected that from a movie that I believe it came out in either the late 80s or the 90s. At some point, I really did not do a whole lot of research on this movie. I'm gonna be totally for real with you. I put this on and I just kind of like was enjoying the vibes, and the vibes were incredible. Something that I miss about old horror movies and kind of action movies and different sci-fi movies like this, there is a lot of cool, like, I don't know if it's animatronics, puppetry, whatever, but like the xenomorph in this film is definitely something that is actually there practically on set. And I think that it looks absolutely phenomenal because they're able to do that. I think that all of the set designs throughout this film is absolutely phenomenal. We go through multiple different spaceships, whether it be their spaceship or when they go into the alien spaceship, and everything just feels larger than life, and it feels incredibly futuristic, and I love that. Everything about it still felt insanely cool, and it's something that still to this day you look at it and you're like, wow, that is captivating. That is really interesting. And as somebody who's like worked on sets for like different like plays and productions and stuff like that, it's really cool watching how they're able to like build something that massive in scale for what's ultimately only really shown for like 3 or 4 minutes of the, I said 3 or 4 minutes, that's way undercutting it, for like 10 minutes when they go and check out the alien ship. I really love that. I love the way that this movie builds tension throughout. I feel like this movie doesn't have as many horror moments as you would expect, but the couple of really big moments hit really hard. Some of the stuff with just like checking on their teammate on the radar and noticing him go missing and not really knowing what's going on with them. And I liked that. I thought that was really cool. And there's a lot of just really interesting sci-fi things that get delved into in this movie. And something that I really like about this movie, and something that I feel like nowadays sci-fi movies kind of struggle with a little bit, is all of the characters in this movie feel relatively smart. And in a way that, like, yes, these are people that would actually be sent into outer space because they know a lot about technology, they know a lot about atmospheres, and they know a lot about just different sciencey stuff that I honestly couldn't tell you anything about because I'm not into science. I don't know stuff like that. But I just love that whenever there's a sci-fi movie where all of the characters actually feel like geniuses who definitely know what they're talking about and they're people you would want to follow and people you'd want to listen to. I love that. And I think that something else that I really love about this movie is a horror movie that is not afraid to kill off pretty much all of the characters. Absolutely fantastic. I love the lone survivor stuff, the single, what is it called, final girl trope, an incredible trope, and I think it works incredibly well. And if I'm remembering correctly, this is one of the like earlier movies to do it, so that's awesome. We really love that. And yeah, so overall I had a really good time with this movie. I don't really have any negatives. Obviously every once in a while there will be frames where it just looks insanely low quality. Every once in a while there will be transitions that it's like, oh, that was on PowerPoint. Oh, I used to be able to use that transition on PowerPoint. And there's some small stuff like that that I'll always have a hard time getting over when I watch old movies. But for the most part, I'll say this one actually really survives the test of time, in my opinion. Like, if you told me that this movie came out in the early 2000s, but it was like something that was on the Sci-Fi Channel or something like that, I would fully believe you. I think that the acting lives up incredibly well. The dialogue lives up incredibly well. The overall practical designs and the sets and everything, it's fantastic. It's a really solid movie. So, overall, I would say that this movie is pretty properly rated. I know a lot of people consider it to be one of the greatest action films of all time. Not action films. That's not the right genre. A lot of people consider this to be one of the best like sci-fi horror movies of all time, and I think it's great. I do think that the whole precedent of there being the evil guy and they're all trapped in a giant room spaceship with one evil guy, I think that that's really cool. And I think that they absolutely nail the just vibes of this film, and I really, really liked it. Considering before watching this movie, the only alien movie I'd watched is Alien Romulus, I will say this one's pretty damn good. And I can see why a lot of people would still have this movie in their top 4 on their Letterboxd. It's a solid movie, so I'd say it's properly rated. And if I had to give this movie a score on a scale of 1 to 100, I'd give this movie a solid, like, 91. It really is insanely good, and I really liked the characters. I think that there's a lot of really great moments, and a lot of iconic moments. So, yeah, I would say overall, this was a very fun movie. 10 out of 10 would recommend checking it out. But, that being said, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much, and hopefully this video was supposed to be on Friday because I want to start doing Flashback Fridays. Hopefully this upcoming Friday, I'm going to be watching Aliens, the sequel that's directed by a different director, and I'm insanely excited for that. So I will hopefully see you guys in the next one, and peace out. Bow, bow, bow.